The year was 2087. Earth had changed a lot. People now lived on Mars. Miners worked on big rocks in space. Humans had built homes beyond their first world. Captain Jin's son stood on the bridge of the ECS Daedalus. It was Earth's first real faster-than-light ship. Jin was 38 years old, with short black hair and eyes that missed nothing. She had worked her way up through hard work and smart choices. Now she led the best crew in Earth's Space Force. "Status report," Jin said, her voice calm but firm. "Officer." Dae Kim looked up from his screen. "All systems normal, Captain. We're at the edge of the solar system, just past Neptune's orbit." Jin nodded. This was a normal patrol. They were checking the outer edges of human space. Far away, Earth's leaders worried about what might be out there. Jin didn't know how right they were to worry. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Tai Quan, the young navigation officer. His fingers moved quickly over his screen. Several large objects coming out of nowhere. Jin walked to his station. "Show me." On the main screen, black space suddenly changed. 5 large ships appeared. They were not human ships. Each one was smooth and blue-green, shaped like arrowheads. They were much bigger than the Daedalus. They just appeared, said Tae. No warning, no light signature, nothing. Jin felt her heart beat faster, but kept her face calm. Jiwoo. Defense status? Weapons specialist Jiwoo Park was already working. Basic shields up, weapons ready but hidden. Her hands moved steadily despite the shock of seeing alien ships for the first time. No one on Earth had ever met aliens before, or at least that's what most people thought. "Dae, open all channels. Let's see if they want to talk," Jin ordered. Before Dae could act, the main screen lit up. A face appeared. It was gray-blue with 4 yellow eyes. It had no nose, just small, breathing holes. When it spoke, its wide mouth showed sharp teeth. "Attention, Earth vessel. This is Supreme Commander Verox of the Alteran Confederacy. You have entered space that is now under our control." Jin stepped forward. "This is Captain Jin's son of the Earth cooperative ship Daedalus. This is Earth's solar system. We have lived here for thousands of years." The alien made a sound like rocks falling. It took Jin a moment to realize it was laughing. "Your species has barely left its cradle," Verox said. "Our scans show you are a level 2 civilization at best. You have basic space travel but little else. The Confederacy claims this system for development." Jin was about to answer when Dae called out, "Captain, they're firing weapons." But the weapons weren't aimed at the Daedalus. On the screen they could see bright beams hitting a small human station near Neptune. The research post had 12 people on it. Now it was breaking apart, turning into nothing but metal pieces in space. "No," Jin shouted. She turned to the alien on screen. Those were innocent researchers. "They were in violation of Confederacy space," Verox said. "Consider this a warning. Return to your home planet. Stay there until we decide what to do with your species." The screen went dark. Jin stood frozen for 1 second. Then she turned to her crew. "Dae, send an emergency message to Earth Command. Use the special channel." "Yes, Captain," Dae said, his face pale but his hands steady. "They killed them," Jiwoo whispered. "Just like that." Jin put her hand on Jiwoo's shoulder. "And they'll kill more if we don't stop them." "But how?" Tae asked. "Did you see the size of those ships? And they have technology we've never seen before." "That's what they think," Jin said with a small smile. "Dae, what does Earth Command say?" Dae listened to his earpiece. "No, they say Phoenix is go. Whatever that means." Jin nodded. "It means we fight back. It means we show them who they're really dealing with." She walked to the center of the bridge. "Listen to me, all of you. What I'm about to tell you is top secret. The Daedalus isn't just an exploration ship. It's Earth's first warship, and it's much more powerful than it looks." She pressed her hand to a hidden panel on her captain's chair. A small screen appeared. She typed in a code. 7249 Phoenix. Suddenly, lights changed all over the bridge. New screens appeared. Hidden panels opened to show advanced controls. For years, Earth has known we might not be alone, Jin explained as her crew looked around in shock. Our leaders decided to hide our true progress. We've been watching the stars, and sometimes the stars were watching back. So we're not really a level 2 civilization? Tay asked. No, Jin said. Not even close. The ship hummed with new energy as systems came online. The crew could feel the difference, like a sleeping animal waking up. Captain, Jiwoo called out. I have new weapon systems I've never seen before. And I'm seeing engine capabilities that shouldn't be possible, added Tay. Jin smiled. Earth has been preparing for this day. We've had help too. Not all aliens are like the Alterans. Some have shared knowledge with us, in secret. What are your orders? Day asked. Jin looked at the alien ships on the screen. They were moving. Toward Mars now, where thousands of humans lived in the colonies. The Alterans think we're young and weak, Jin said. They think we'll run home scared. They're wrong. She straightened her uniform. Jiwoo, prepare all weapons. Tay, plot a course to intercept the enemy fleet. But there are 5 of them and only one of us, Jiwoo said. Numbers don't tell the whole story, Jin replied. Sometimes the best weapon is surprise. She sat in her captain's chair, now transformed with glowing controls on the armrests. Activate the quantum displacement drive, she ordered. The bridge filled with a soft blue light. Outside, the stars seemed to stretch and bend. What will happen now? Tay asked, looking at his new controls with wide eyes. Jin's face was serious, but her eyes held hope. Now we show them that Earth isn't young. We've just been very, very patient. The Daedalus changed. Its outer hull shifted and reshaped. Hidden weapons appeared. The engines glowed with strange light. All hands, Jin called over the ship's speakers. Prepare for battle. Today we defend not just Earth, but all of humanity. The ship shot forward at impossible speed, heading straight for the alien fleet. The first real space battle in human history was about to begin, and Earth had a few surprises. Ready? Minji Park walked quickly through the underground lab. She was late for the meeting. Her black hair was tied back and she wore a simple white lab coat. At 35, she was the youngest head engineer in Earth's space program, and now she led the most secret project in human history. She pushed open the heavy door to the meeting room. 5 people sat around a table. They all looked up when she entered. Sorry I'm late, Minji said. The new engine test ran longer than planned. General Han, an older man with a stern face, nodded. And how did it go? Minji smiled. It worked. The quantum displacement engine can now hide a ship between dimensions. We can travel without being seen. The room was quiet for a moment. Then everyone started talking at once. Please, said President Soo Kim, raising her hand. She was the leader of the United Earth government. Let's stay calm. Minji, this is good news. Very good news. Minji sat down next to her husband, Sung Han. He was a tactical officer and weapons designer. Under the table, he squeezed her hand. Project Phoenix is on schedule, Minji said. In 3 years, we will have a ship that can travel faster than light, hide from any sensors, and defend Earth if needed. Dr. Hoon Lee, a thin man with round glasses, spoke next. My team has also made progress. The quantum entanglement communication system works. We can now talk to our ships anywhere in space without any delay. No one can listen to our messages. President Kim looked pleased. Good. What about weapons, Sung? Sung stood up. He was tall and had a calm voice. We have 2 new systems. First, the dimensional phase cannon. It can hit ships that are hiding in other dimensions. Second, the shield breaker. It finds the weak spot in any shield and breaks through. General Han frowned. And you're sure these will work against them? Everyone knew who them was. For 20 years, Earth had known they were not alone. Strange signals had been detected. Unknown objects had been seen near Jupiter. And once a small alien ship had crashed in the ocean. The pilot had died, but the technology was studied in secret. Earth's leaders had made a big decision. They would hide their true progress. To any watchers, Earth would look like a young, simple civilization. But behind this mask, humans were building advanced technology. "We think so," Sung answered. "The alien ship that crashed had shields similar to what our sensors have detected. On the watching ships," Minji added, "and we've had help." This was the biggest secret of all. Not all aliens were the same. Some had secretly contacted Earth. They warned about the Alteran Confederacy, an alien group that took over young worlds. These friendly aliens had shared some knowledge, helping Earth prepare. "What about the ship itself?" asked President Kim. Minji showed a picture on the big screen. It was a sleek ship, but it looked simple from the outside. "This is the ECS Daedalus," she explained. "From the outside, it looks like a basic exploration ship, but inside..." She pressed a button, and the image changed. Now the ship had hidden weapons and special engines. "Inside, it's our first true warship." "Who will command it?" asked General Han. "Captain Jin Sun," said President Kim. "She's smart and brave, and she knows how to keep a secret." The meeting continued for hours. They talked about the other parts of Project Phoenix, the hidden fleet being built on the far side of the moon, the defense systems around Earth and Mars, and the special training for select crews. Later that night, Minji and Sung walked home under the stars. Their apartment was near the lab. "Do you think it will be enough?" Sung asked, looking up at the night sky. Minji followed his gaze. "It has to be. If the Alterans come and find us unprepared..." She didn't finish. They both knew what happened to worlds that couldn't defend themselves. Their friendly alien contacts had told them stories. The Alterans didn't destroy worlds. They took them over, using the people as workers, taking all resources. "I'm worried about the test flight next month," Minji said, changing the subject. "If the watching ships detect the quantum displacement..." Sung put his arm around her. "They won't. Dr. Lee's team has set up false signals to hide the test. The watchers will see nothing unusual." They reached their apartment and went inside. On their wall was a picture of Earth from space. It reminded them every day what they were working to protect. 3 more years, Minji said. "Then the Daedalus will be ready. And if we're lucky," Sung added, "we'll never need to use it." But they both knew that luck wasn't something they could count on. 2 years passed. The work continued day and night. Minji stood in a huge space dock hidden inside the moon. The Daedalus was almost complete. Workers moved around it like ants, adding the final parts. Dr. Hoon Lee walked up beside her. "The communication system is installed," he said. "We can now talk to the ship anywhere in the solar system instantly." "Good," Minji said. "How's the cloaking system?" "Perfect. In tests, our sensors couldn't find the test ship even when they knew where to look." Minji nodded. Everything was coming together. But there was still so much to do. A voice called her name. She turned to see Sung walking toward them. He looked worried. "What's wrong?" Minji asked. "The watching ships have moved," Sung said. 3 of them are now closer to Mars. They're scanning our colonies." Minji felt cold. "Has there been contact?" "No. They're just watching. For now." Hoon adjusted his glasses. "Do we need to speed up the schedule?" "Maybe," Sung said. "General Han is talking to the president now. They might want the Daedalus ready sooner." Minji looked at the ship. "We can launch in 6 months, not before. Some systems still need work." They all stared at the massive ship. It was Earth's greatest achievement and its greatest secret. If the Alterans knew what humans were really capable of, they might attack sooner. "There's something else," Sung said quietly. "Our friends have sent a new message. The Alteran fleet is bigger than we thought. Much bigger." Minji felt her heart sink. "How many ships?" "At least 100, maybe more." The 3 friends stood in silence. Even with all their advanced technology, Earth couldn't fight 100 alien warships. "Then we need a different plan," Minji said finally. "We can't win with force alone. We need to be smarter." And that night, in a secret meeting, they began to form a new plan, A plan that would depend not on strength but on surprise and clever thinking. 6 months later, the Daedalus left Earth on its first official mission. To any watchers, it looked like a simple exploration ship. Captain Jin Sun and her crew had simple orders: patrol the edges of the solar system and collect data. But they all knew the real mission: be ready. Because someday, the watchers would do more than watch. And when that day came, Earth needed to be ready. Back in the present, the Daedalus sped toward the Alteran ships. Captain Jin Sun sat straight in her command chair. Her heart beat fast, but her mind was clear. "All systems ready, Captain," said Jiwoo Park at the weapons station. Her fingers moved quickly over the new controls that had appeared. "Quantum displacement drive at full power," Taekwon reported from navigation. He had been surprised by the ship's true nature, but now he worked with steady hands. Jin nodded. "Dae, any response? From the aliens?" Dae Kim shook his head. "They're sending messages to each other, but not to us. I think they're confused about our ship changing." "Good," Jin said. "Confusion is our friend today." On the main screen, they could see the 5 Alteran ships. They were still heading toward Mars, where thousands of humans lived in dome cities. The aliens didn't seem worried about the single Earth ship following them. "They think we're no threat," Jin said. "Let's change their minds. Tae, activate quantum jump on my mark." Tae's fingers hovered over the controls. "Ready, Captain." Jiwoo, prepare main weapons. Target the lead ship's engines only. "Targeting engines," Jiwoo confirmed. Her screen showed a detailed view of the alien ship with its engine section highlighted. Jin took a deep breath. "This is what we trained for. This is why Earth built the Daedalus." "Mark." Tae pressed the button. The stars on the screen blurred. The bridge hummed with energy. Then everything changed. The Daedalus disappeared from behind the alien fleet. In an instant, it reappeared directly above the lead ship. "Fire," Jin ordered. Jiwoo activated the weapons. Bright blue beams shot from the Daedalus. They weren't normal weapons. These beams shifted and phased between dimensions, making them impossible to block with standard shields. The beams hit the lead ship's engines. The huge alien vessel shuddered. Its engines flickered and went dark. "Direct hit," Jiwoo called out. Their main engines are disabled. On the screen, they could see the other Alteran ships turning, trying to find where the attack had come from. "They're confused," Dae reported. "Their communications are chaotic. They don't understand what just happened." Jin smiled. "Let's keep them confused." Tae jumped to position 2. "Jumping now," Tae said. Again, the Daedalus disappeared and reappeared, this time behind a different alien ship. "Target weapons systems," Jin ordered. Jiwoo fired again. The phase beams cut through the alien shields like they weren't even there. The second ship's weapon ports closed suddenly as their systems failed. "2 down, 3 to go," Jin said. "Tae, keep jumping. Jiwoo, keep firing. Don't give them time to understand what's happening." For the next few minutes, the Daedalus jumped from position to position. Each time it fired at a different ship, disabling engines, weapons, or shields. The alien fleet tried to fight back, but they couldn't hit what they couldn't find. "Captain," Dae called out, "I'm getting a message from the alien commander." "On screen," Jin ordered. Supreme Commander Verox appeared. His 4 yellow eyes were wide with surprise and anger. "What is this?" he demanded. "How are you doing this? Your species doesn't have this technology." Jin stood up to face him. "You made a mistake, Commander. You judged us by what you saw on the surface. You thought Earth was young." "This is impossible," Verox said. "Our scans showed your civilization was barely space-capable." "We wanted you to think that," Jin replied. "We've been watching you watching us. Earth has learned to hide its true nature." She walked closer to the screen. "Now, you have a choice. Leave our system peacefully or we continue this fight." Verox made an angry sound. "This is one ship. The Confederacy has hundreds. We will destroy you and your planet." "Are you sure about that?" Jin asked calmly. She nodded to Dae, who pressed a button. The main screen split to show a new view. Hidden ships were appearing near Earth, near Mars, and near Jupiter's moons. Human ships, dozens of them, all with the same advanced technology as the Daedalus. Earth's fleet has been hiding, Jin explained. Just like our technology. Just like our true capabilities. Varrock stared in shock. This changes nothing. The Confederacy. Jin cut him off. You destroyed our research station without warning. You killed innocent people. Now you threaten our colonies. The time for talk is over. She turned to Jiwoo. Target their command ship's communication array. Cut them off from calling for help. With pleasure, Captain, Jiwoo said, firing again. The beams hit the largest alien ship precisely. Its communications dishes and antennas exploded in silence. Jump to position 7, Jin ordered Tae. The Daedalus moved again, reappearing between the alien fleet and Mars. It hung there, weapons ready, a clear message: you shall not pass. Your ships are disabled, Jin told Varrox. You can't call for help, and now you know what one Earth ship can do. Imagine what our entire fleet will do if you force us. The alien commander was silent for a long moment. His face showed confusion, then anger, then finally something like respect. How? He asked. How did a young species develop such technology without us knowing? Jin allowed herself a small smile. Humans are good at keeping secrets, Commander. We learned long ago that appearing weak can be an advantage. While you watched us and thought we were simple, we were preparing. On the bridge, Jin's crew worked, with new confidence. They had trained for this day. They had hoped it would never come, but they were ready when it did. Captain, Day said, I'm getting a message from Earth Command. The fleet is in position. They're asking for orders. Jin thought for a moment. She looked at Varrox on the screen. Commander, I'll give you one chance. Surrender your ships and we can talk about peace. Otherwise, Varrox's face changed. You would destroy helpless ships? No, Jin said firmly. We're not like you. We don't kill without reason. But we will take your ships, and we will send a message to your Confederacy. Earth is not to be attacked. She waited, watching the alien commander. The bridge was quiet. Everything hung in balance. Finally, Varrox spoke. I surrender my fleet. Jin nodded. A wise choice. D, tell Earth Command we need boarding teams. Tae, keep us in position. Jiwoo, keep weapons ready, just in case. As the crew carried out her orders, Jin looked out at the stars. The first battle between Earth and an alien power was over. Humanity had won, not through brute force, but through clever planning and the element of surprise. But Jin knew this was just the beginning. The Alteran Confederacy wouldn't stop with one failed attack. There would be more ships, more battles. Earth needed to be ready, and thanks to people like Minji, Sung, and Hoon, it would be. They thought Earth was young, Jin said quietly to herself. They were wrong. 6 hours after the battle, Captain Jin Sun led a team onto the main Alteran ship. With her were Jiwoo Park and 2 security officers. They all wore spacesuits with special shields, just in case. The inside of the alien ship was strange. The halls were wider and taller than human ships. The lights were a soft green that made human skin look odd. The air was safe to breathe, but it smelled like metal and something sweet. Stay alert, Jin told her team. We're here to find information, not start another fight. They walked through the ship, following a map that Day had made from the ship's signals. Earth soldiers were all over the ship now, watching the Alteran crew who had been moved to one area. The main control room should be ahead, Jin said. They turned a corner and found a large door. It was already open. Inside was a room with many screens and control panels. Supreme Commander Varrox stood there, guarded by 2 Earth soldiers. Captain Sun, Varrox said when he saw her. His voice was flat. Here to gloat over your victory? Jin shook her head. No, I'm here for answers. She walked to the main computer panel. Earth scientists had figured out how to use Alteran computers from the ship that had crashed years ago. Jiwoo, start downloading their data, Jin ordered. I want to know everything about the Confederacy, their fleet, and their plans for Earth. Jiwoo went to work, connecting Earth devices to the alien computer. Screens lit up with strange symbols that quickly changed to English as their translators worked. Jin turned to Verox. "Why did you attack us? We did nothing to threaten you." The alien commander's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "It is what we do. We find developing worlds, assess their value, and add them to the Confederacy." "You mean you take them over, Jin?" said Verox, made a motion with his hand. "A crude way to put it, but yes. Your world has resources we need. Your people would serve the Confederacy." "As slaves," Jin said. "As workers," Verox corrected. "But that's not important now. What matters is how your world has such advanced technology. Our scans showed nothing like what your ship can do." Jin smiled. "That was the point. We made sure you saw what we wanted you to see." "Captain," Jiwoo called from the computer. "I think you should see this." Jin walked over to the screen Jiwoo was looking at. It showed images of many different alien species and their planets. "What am I looking at?" Jin asked. "These are records of other worlds the Confederacy has taken over," Jiwoo explained. "But look at this." She pointed to a section of text. "It says they assess each world's technology, then steal the best parts before conquering it." Jin felt cold anger rise inside her. "They're not advanced at all, they're thieves." She turned to Verox. "Your great Confederacy doesn't develop its own technology, does it? You steal it from other species." Verox's skin darkened, a sign of anger or shame. "We acquire what we need. The Confederacy grows stronger with each new world." "Captain," Jiwoo said, "there's more. Look at these designs." She showed another screen with ship plans. "These engine designs, they look like early versions of our quantum drives." "That's impossible," Jin said. "We developed those ourselves." But as she looked closer, she saw the truth. Some of the designs were very similar to Earth's technology, too similar to be a coincidence. "You had spies on Earth," Jin said to Verox, "or you hacked our systems." The alien didn't deny it. "We monitor all potential worlds very carefully. Sometimes, information is collected without the species knowing." Jin felt her anger grow. "So you steal ideas from developing worlds, then use that technology against them? And you call us the primitive ones?" "It is how the Confederacy has always worked," Verox said simply. "We take what works best from each world. We grow stronger. It is efficient." Jiwoo spoke up again. "Captain, according to these files, the Confederacy has done this to 27 other worlds in this part of the galaxy." Jin walked slowly around the room, looking at the strange alien technology that now seemed less impressive than before. "And these other worlds? What happened to them?" She asked. Jiwoo read more from the screen. "Most of them are now mining colonies or farm worlds for the Confederacy. Their people work to supply resources to the main Confederacy worlds." Jin stopped in front of Verox. "That was your plan for Earth? Turn us into a mining colony? Your planet has rare metals we need," Verox said. "And your population would provide good workers. It was a logical choice." Jin shook her head in disgust. "And all this time, you thought you were superior to us." "We are superior," Verox insisted. "The Confederacy rules hundreds of worlds." "But you create nothing," Jin said. "You only take. That's not superiority. That's parasitism." She turned back to Jiwoo. "Download everything. Every file. Every record. Earth needs to know what we're really dealing with." For the next hour, they worked to copy the Alterran ship's data. They found more evidence of the Confederacy's true nature, a galaxy-wide group of thieves and conquerors with no real innovation of their own. They learned how the Confederacy had been watching Earth for 50 years, sometimes taking human ideas and technology in secret. They discovered plans for a full invasion of Earth that would have happened within a year. Back on the Daedalus, Jin called a meeting with her senior crew. They gathered in the ship's meeting room, all looking at the screens showing what they had found. "So they're not advanced at all," Tay said, shaking his head. "They just steal from everyone else." "And they've been stealing from us," Day added. "Some of our own technology was going to be used against us." Jin nodded. "Yes, but there's something else." She showed them one more file they had found. These are records of resistance. Some worlds fought back against the Confederacy. Did any win? Jiwoo asked. No, Jin admitted. But none of them had what we have. None of them knew what was coming. We did, and we prepared. She stood up, looking at her crew. The Confederacy is bigger than we thought. They have more ships, more resources, but now we know their secret. They're not smarter than us. They're not more advanced. They're just thieves who have been doing this for a long time. So what do we do now? Tae asked. Jin looked at the screen showing the captured Alteran ships. Now we take this information back to Earth. Now we prepare for what comes next, because the Confederacy won't stop with one failed attack. Will Earth be ready? Tae asked. Jin nodded. Yes, and we'll have help. Help? From who? Jiwoo asked. From the 27 worlds the Confederacy has conquered, Jin said. I think it's time they learned the truth too. Time they learned that the mighty Confederacy isn't so mighty after all. As the Daedalus prepared to return to Earth with the captured ships, Jin looked out at the stars. The truth had been revealed. The enemy was not what they had feared, and that gave humanity hope. The real fight was just beginning. 2 weeks after the battle, Captain Jin Sun stood in the great meeting hall in New Geneva. Leaders from all parts of Earth had gathered here. The room was large with tall windows that showed the mountains outside. At the front was a long table where the United Earth Council sat. Jin wore her formal uniform. Beside her stood Supreme Commander Verox, still a prisoner but treated well. The alien looked smaller somehow, less scary than he had on his ship. President Soo Kim spoke from the center of the council table. Captain Sun, you and your crew have done something amazing. You have shown the Alteran Confederacy that Earth is not weak. You have protected our world. All of humanity thanks you. Jin nodded, respectfully. Thank you, Madam President, but the danger is not over. The Confederacy will send more ships when these 5 don't return. We know, said President Kim. That's why we are here today, to decide what to do next. She looked at Verox. Supreme. Commander, you have seen what one Earth ship could do against your fleet. You now know that we have more ships like the Daedalus. Do you still think the Confederacy can defeat us? Verox's 4 eyes blinked. The Confederacy has hundreds of ships, thousands of soldiers, dozens of worlds that provide resources. You are one planet, no matter how clever you are. The room was quiet. What he said was true. Earth was just one, world against many. Then Jin spoke. But we are not alone, are we? There are others who would stand against the Confederacy if they could. She walked to a large screen on the wall. It showed pictures of alien worlds and alien people. The 27 species conquered by the Confederacy. These worlds are treated badly by the Confederacy, Jin said. They are forced to work. Their resources are taken. But they are not weak. They just didn't know what was coming until it was too late. She turned to face the council. We know. We are ready. And we can help them be ready too. Minji Park stood up from her seat. She and her husband Sung had been called to the meeting to share what they knew. We have studied the Alteran technology, Minji said. It's a mix of stolen ideas from many worlds, including Earth. But it has weaknesses. We know how to fight it now. Sung Han joined his wife. And we have friends among the stars, the aliens who warned us about the Confederacy. They are few, but they can help us reach out to the conquered worlds. President Kim looked thoughtful. Are you suggesting we start a war against the entire Confederacy? That would put Earth at great risk. Not a war, Jin said. A revolution. The conquered worlds outnumber the core Confederacy worlds. They just need hope. They need to know that someone has fought the Confederacy and won. She pointed to Verox. And they need to know the truth. That the mighty Confederacy is built on stolen ideas and forced labor. Verox made an angry sound. This is foolish. The Confederacy has stood for 1,000 years. You think you can change that because of one small victory? Jin smiled at him. One small victory is all it takes sometimes. One spark to start a fire. Dr. Hoon Lee, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. We can use the quantum entanglement communicator to contact the other worlds without the Confederacy knowing. We can share what we've learned. We can share our technology. The council talked for many hours. Some were afraid of starting a bigger fight. Others saw no choice. The Confederacy would attack again someday. In the end, President Kim stood and faced them all. Earth has always stood for freedom. We have fought our own battles for it throughout our history. Now we face a new test. And she looked at Jin. Captain Sun, I am giving you a new mission. You will take the Daedalus and a small fleet. You will contact these other worlds. You will offer them our help against the Confederacy. Jin stood straight. Yes, Madam President. But, President Kim added, you will not start a war. You will only help those who choose to fight for themselves. Earth will defend itself, but we will not conquer others. We are not like the Confederacy. She turned to Verox. As for you, Supreme Commander, you will return to your people with a message. Earth is not for taking. We offer peace to the Confederacy, but only if you leave, us and these other worlds alone. The choice is yours. Verox seemed surprised. You would let me go, after what we planned to do to your world? Yes, said President Kim, because that is who we are. We fight when we must, but we prefer peace. 3 days later, Jin stood on the bridge of the Daedalus again. The ship had been repaired and improved with things they had learned from the Alteran technology. Her crew was ready. Dai at communications, Jiwoo at weapons, Tai at navigation. But now they had new crew members too, scientists, diplomats, and even a few friendly aliens who had secretly helped Earth. All systems ready, Captain, Tai reported. Fleet is in formation, added Jiwoo. Jin looked at the screen showing the 5 Earth ships that would go with them. They were the best Earth had, now fitted with all the technology that had been kept secret for so long. Day, open a channel to Earth Command, Jin ordered. Channel open, Day said. This is Captain Sun. The Daedalus and fleet are ready to depart. President Kim's voice came through. You have your orders, Captain. Contact the other worlds. Offer our help. Show the Confederacy that freedom is stronger than fear. Yes, Madam President, Jin replied. We won't let Earth down. She turned to her crew. Our mission has changed. We are no longer just defending Earth, we are bringing hope to others. It won't be easy. The Confederacy is still powerful, but they're not as strong as they want everyone to believe. Jin sat in her captain's chair. Tay set course for the Proxima system. That's where we'll find the first world that needs our help. Course set, Captain, Tay confirmed. Quantum displacement drive ready, Minji Park said from her new station on the bridge. She and Sung had joined the mission, their knowledge too valuable to leave behind. Jin looked at her crew, at the friends who had fought beside her, at the new faces ready to help. She felt proud to be human in that moment, proud to be part of a species that faced danger with courage and cleverness. They thought Earth was young, she said, but age isn't measured in years. It's measured in wisdom, in courage, and in how we treat others. By that measure, humanity has been ready for the stars for a long time. She nodded to Tay. Take us out. The Daedalus and its small fleet moved away from Earth, heading to the stars. They didn't go as conquerors like the Confederacy. They went as friends, as helpers, as the spark that would light a fire of freedom across the galaxy. Behind them, Earth prepared. The secret was out now. Humans didn't hide their technology anymore. They built more ships, stronger defenses. They were ready if the Confederacy came. But Jin hoped for something better. She hoped that what they started would change things, that the Confederacy would learn that taking from others made you weak, not strong. That working together made everyone stronger. As the ships entered quantum displacement, disappearing from normal space, Jin thought of all the worlds waiting out there. Worlds that needed what Earth could offer. Not just technology, but hope. The mission had begun. The next chapter of humanity's story among the stars was just starting.